Hey, what's up everybody? I just wanted to give you a quick update for episode 2 of Chasing 200 Plus on the cage work on this 34 Roadster. So let me grab the camera and I'll show you guys around with some of the progress that I've made. So at this point, I've got the majority of the cage work all fit and tacked together. In the last episode, there was pretty much nothing in here. All you saw was these little pads that I had cut that were going to be welded to the frame, and those are tacked in place, and then our bolt pads went from there. So I'll show you around the cage a little bit. It's pretty involved. It's a 200 mile an hour plus car, so the cage has to be pretty sufficient. So it's all 1.75" 120 DOM. So yeah, there's a lot of tube work going on here. I've been working on it for a couple weeks off and on. I had to finish up an Indy Roadster for the Miller meet, but you can see that we have our main firewall hoop here, and then our main shoulder hoop here that goes all the way around, and then everything builds from there. I kind of roll bent our shoulder bars here, that way I could get a lot of extra shoulder width and tuck that nice and close to the body. So when the door's shut, it actually matches the same radius as the outside of the skin. And then from a side profile, I angled the cage here to match the angle of the top of the Roadster body. And we wanted to make sure that there was plenty of room for the helmet and the driver, but not too much room that we'd have to pad everything out. So after I got everything tacked up, I did have the owner of the car come in, and we put a seat in it, test fit to make sure that everything was where I wanted it to be, and he had plenty of room. So I put some X's in the back, X's in the firewall, there's X's under the floor, and there's diagonals to get everything to be as super safe as humanly possible. And I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. And now there's just a bunch of welding that has to happen. So other than that, I'm going to submit pictures to this point to the SCTA just to make sure they're happy with how everything is progressing. And once they approve that, we can get to welding. I also do have to add 2 bars that will attach here into the trunk. Those are going to be attached to the main cage with tube couplers. That way it can be easily removed to get the cage out of the car. So I still have to do those, but the majority of the main cage work is done, ready to weld up and get final approval, and then I can do that. So a lot of work, a lot of tubing goes into land speed cars. I think at this point there is 6 20-foot sticks of tubing in this roll cage. So it's a lot. All of it was hand fit, hand notched, and I bent it on my little bender there. So, you know, nothing was completely drawn in CAD and then just kind of CNC bent, and, you know, no tube dragging or anything like that. Everything was kind of done by hand, measured everything out, programmed the bend angles, measured the notches, did it all by hand, and it'll all be fully TIG welded. So that's kind of the progress on this car. Like I said, I think the other video was from 2 weeks ago where I just gotten started on it. It might have been 3 weeks ago at this point, but I did take a week off on it so we could finish up the Ronnie Duman car for the Miller meet. So it's all wrapped up, ready to be picked up, and it will be at the Miller meet at IRP in Indianapolis this coming weekend. So if you're going out there, make sure to check it out. And there's some videos in my short section where you can watch me driving it around on the street for the client, getting everything to work. But it has a Nissan 2400 4-cylinder in it, and just kind of put stuff back together, got everything to work, made a new firewall, went through the brake system, some new lines, fuel lines, just tidied everything up a lot and got everything to work. It had some mechanical issues, so we just got everything put back together to where it can be used and enjoyed. So that's kind of where I'm at. And stay tuned while I get this while I get this roll cage wrapped up and back to the customer, hopefully by the end of this month, so he can get it the rest of the way prepped for Bonneville.